To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
First up, Kanishka, take us through how the US market fared. S&P 500, Nasdaq, it is sitting at record high levels yet again. It is managing to strike record highs. In the past few trading sessions, it has done very well, and the Wall Street is off for a positive close. This week.
That's right. Like you said, first of all, good morning to you. And now getting to the US markets. Now, like you said, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, they've reached another record closing high. This marks the broader market index's 13th record close of 2025, 4 of which were recorded this week itself. Now, the index finished above that 6,300 mark for the first time on Monday. The Nasdaq, meanwhile, that has seen 3 record closes this week, particularly breaking that 21,000 threshold on Wednesday. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that saw losses yesterday. All the 3 major averages, they are on pace to finish the week with gains. The 30-stock Dow is tracking for an almost 1% advance on the week, as is the tech-heavy Nasdaq index. Well, the S&P 500, that has risen more than 1% week to date. Now, the journey to the all-time highs over this past week has been supported by a strong earnings season, including Alphabet's better-than-expected earnings report. Now, almost 83% of the 155 S&P 500 companies that have reported their earnings to date have beat Wall Street expectations. Now, recent trade deals between the US and its trading partners, they've also helped push the markets to new highs. Investors are now awaiting any further trade announcements before the Trump administration's August 1st tariff deadline that kicks in. Next week is also when the Federal Reserve is scheduled to meet once again. Policymakers are widely expected to keep interest rates at their current target range of 4.25 to 4.5%. So all eyes now on the Fed meeting next week. But how are things looking on the crude front, Ankita?
Right, Kanishka, market sitting at record higher levels, and we also have the Fed meeting next week. Very important cues to watch out for. But let's take a look at how this crude is really moving. Crude prices rose, buoyed by optimism over US trade negotiations that would see ease the pressure on the global economy and sharper than expected decline in the US crude inventories. Now, Brent crude futures gained almost 67 odd cents, 0.9% gain coming in to close in at $69.18 a barrel. That's where Brent crude is at. WTI futures climbed 78 cents or 1.2% to settle in at $66.03 per barrel. Both the benchmarks were little changed as on Wednesday, as markets were monitoring the developments in US and European Union trade talks following President Donald Trump's tariff deal with Japan. The agreement has lowered, of course, duties on auto imports and spares. Tokyo from new levies in exchange for a $550 billion package on US-bound investment and loans. But on the renewed optimism of trade deals, crude has jumped up, and we do see Brent crude settling in at $69 a barrel or thereabouts. So that's how crude has really panned out as of now, Kanishka.